Hello and welcome to DC30 and the Mythic Odysseys of Theros, D&D with an ancient Greek twist. I'm your Dungeon Master Red Nova, and I am joined by Heaton, Teddy, Morse, and Paige. So, Tempest. When last we left off, you guys were making names for yourselves on a hot streak of accomplishments in the city of Meletis, the city of high magic in all of Theros, the crown jewel of the police. You came back from a mission where you had to slay a cataclysm thunderboar and collected the reward for that, and then spent some time spending some money on your reward and chasing up other leads, including a unusual assassination where a man was shot with a seemingly peculiar arrow. After picking up some more information on some personal endeavors, you guys find yourselves at a bit of a crossroads. And that's where we left off, I believe, on the streets of Meletis, with you guys deciding what to do next with the information you've been given. So, Tempest, what would you like to do?
Anyone have any preferences?
No, I'm trying to remember what actually happened. The last session.
It has been a while. So I believe that we were looking into the murder of a guy.
Homogeneous. We spoke to the city guard. They refused to give us access to the arrow itself, but you were able to make a description. Fireboy confirmed that it was an arrow of piercing or something designed to strike at something through cover, which is how we assumed the assassination was carried out from outside the building itself.
Yeah.
There was also the mission that Daxus just mentioned as well, about his friend who's been acting a bit suspect.
That would be the guard captain.
And then there was also the guy that wanted adventurers to go with him to investigate islands.
That was Theros to chart a new island seeking protection.
Yeah.
So my suggestion would be solve the murder if it's an easy case, and then decide what we're going to do.
And if it is an easy case, just leave it.
That's their problem, isn't it? You know.
Garcia would agree, stressing that the importance is that we raise our renown here, not elsewhere. Here is where some information, certainly I require, may be found.
Yeah.
However, we also wish to speak to Theros at some point as well. Nevertheless, we were initially planning to speak to the city guard and then have come across a recommendation by Fireboy to check in on his friend, the watch captain, which name I believe is Molpida? Molpidia?
Molpadilla.
Molpadilla. There we go.
Your English is showing.
Your voice has just got very, very loud.
Oh yes, I was asked to turn up the microphone. Too loud?
I will just turn you down on Discord. It is not a problem.
Okay. Apparently the streamers are equal.
You just like
You guys put so much faith in your saving throws.
I think you sound amazing.
See, there we go. A little bit of ass kissing.
No one likes a suck up.
Hey, if there's any lightning involved in this session, I'm doing what I can.
So yeah, Ganassi would.
Oh yeah, speaking of lightning damage, shit. Jason, fuck, wow, sorry. Yeah, it has been a while. You know what? The joke I was gonna make is no longer worth it. Proceed.
would say that the
Let's
things
set
we
up.
should deal with now are both Molpadia and the murder. Once we have dealt with one or both of those, if we still are at a loss for renown, then we can look into this folly into a new island.
Okay.
Amalia will
Sounds
chime in. Eslen, did you need to speak to the snake lady? That's the best
Possibly.
Amalia you're getting, I'm sorry.
I was gonna say that did not sound anything like.
I thought the resemblance was uncanny.
Your sarcasm is not appreciated, Ganassi.
No, I'm doing the full Patrick Stewart and just one accent and incapable of understanding any other accents.
I will be right back
Yeah,
as well,
relate.
just really quickly.
Okay, cool. Yeah, sure, why not?
Have a nice week.
Well, the dead one isn't going to get any more dead anytime soon.
I also have Speak with Dead as well, so maybe we can go have a chat.
I meant more that the matter with the watch captain or Padilla may be the best suited task
Okay.
to do first.
That works for me. So, let's go speak to the snake lady, and then...
Well, before we do that, did Draxos tell us where to find her? And if not, because we've literally just left his forge, I'm going to go back and get that information because we probably would still know it. But I do not have keen mind, so I need to acquire it again.
He did mention that there's a sort of, not a guard barracks, but a military stronghold, a fort, not too far outside the city.
Cool, right, that's fine. Then we'll head. Well, looking at the map with that information, is the snake lady closer to the barracks, or is the barracks closer?
Penelope is way closer than the barracks.
Cool, then all good. I think we will go to Milady Snake, and
Milady.
we'll then go to the barracks afterwards.
Does Ganassi have a fedora?
I could probably use Gust and create some kind of ominous, create some kind of crap tumbleweed of just dust and debris that just kind of
Please do it.
skitters across.
Ancient red drag. Yeah, easy enough. You guys quick jog to the secretive sundries, and before you know it, you're outside the door.
Okay, cool. Does anybody need anything while we're here? A couple of healing potions.
We did use some healing potions before.
Yes, I gave mine to Jason, so alright then. See if I've got one of those as well. I guess we go inside.
Alright, you step inside and you're greeted with a powerful, this place smells pungent at the best of times, but this is an extra layer of there's a thin blue vapor in the air, and it just smells like the most pungent brine right now inside. And you see Penelope a little ways off behind the counter in a sort of separate room where you gather she does most of her brewing, with a big pot that she's stirring that's got a aquamarine color coming out of it, glowing slightly.
Hi.
Oh, hello. Welcome again. Come in. What can Penelope do for you?
Just some healing potion, I think, if that's okay.
Cleaned me out, unfortunately. Haven't had a chance to
I thought
brew
you said
more.
you had 6 and we took 2.
Is that what happened? I thought you guys bought all of them.
We
No,
only got, I believe we
three.
only got 2 because we knew they had a few, but we only got 2 at the time, which is why then during the fight we had to find out which members had the potions of healing before.
My bad.
Yeah,
I
because
thought
we
you.
decided
I thought
me
you guys
and
bought all of them.
Calliope
We
would have
considered
one.
buying them all, but then we decided just to get 1. We got 2.
Okay, retcon. Yes, I have those other 4 that you did not purchase previously. Are you looking to get those?
They're 50 gold each, correct?
So there was 2 regular ones, which were 50 gold each, and then there was the 1-up ones, which I think were 250 each.
Okay. I'll just take one of the basic healing potions, please.
Cool.
And I would like the other if no one else is going to jump on it.
I'm okay.
Cool, yeah, so you two mark off your, mark off the, what you call it? 50 gold each for the regular healing potions, and there are 2 greater healing potions available for 250 each.
Okay. I don't suppose that we are renowned enough for any additional information.
Word has reached this one's ears of your exploits. You are clearly capable, and are clearly of good intent. Sort of looks behind you. Steps out from behind the counter. Locks the door. Draws the curtains.
Oh, shit.
If it's all the same to you, I'm going to drop the seer act a little bit. It's not much of an act, but it is a little bit of one. It helps with the
Okay.
whole mysticism part of what I do. Followers of
You
the
have
Venom-
been giving me the heebie-jeebies.
Followers
Not
of the
going to lie.
Venom Goddess tend to be looked upon not too kindly to begin with anyway. Okay. I've consulted in my dreams with my mistress. Eslin, I know your plight is true. Tell me everything you remember. I will see what I can do.
So, I remember entering the temple through the door as usual, except it was very quiet. There was a funny smell in the water. As I approached the altar, something just felt wrong. It just didn't quite settle with. And as I investigated further, I found some of my kin had been slaughtered nearby, and that there was... I didn't really recognize it, but I assume a symbol of someone else in Thessa's temple.
Can you remember what the symbol looked like?
No. I only had a moment to look at it, just instant before, well,
She nods. She thinks for a moment. You suspect an unnatural occurrence?
I do. I believe it might have been welcomed by someone.
She thinks
Someone
for a
who knew the
moment.
church well.
The The kind of magic it would take to summon such a grotesque illness is not easy to produce. If you're right, you may be dealing with something very dangerous.
What do you think?
There are many evils and goods that could produce such magical power. It would be beyond anything in my capabilities, certainly, but there are those. She just tries to think. In the same way you must concentrate on a spell, however, something like this must be maintained.
So if I find the one behind it, concentration?
Possibly. Although returning to such a place as your home in such a state may carry its own risks if it is still in a state. If you
Yes.
truly wish to purify it, doing something like that is likely beyond me. But I may know someone who can help.
Anywhere you can send me, I'll go.
It'll be risky. It's beyond my capabilities, but the one who taught me may know a thing or two.
And who would that be?
Her name is Agrippe.
Agrippe?
What do you know of Gorgons, Aslan?
I know very, very, very little.
They are keepers of Farrakha's most trusted secrets. Excuse me, as she checks her phone. They are entrusted with keeping Farrakha's secrets, her most loyal servants and guardians of her wonders. Agrippe was one such Gorgon. When I washed up on her island, she took me in, helped me, taught me everything I know.
I assume that island is uncharted and doesn't have a name.
Most of Theros' islands are uncharted. As you know, the Siren Sea is nebulous at best. Which you do, actually. All of you are aware that even the most well-known islands in the Siren Sea aren't necessarily in the same place every time. There is some sort of primordial magic around the Siren Sea that means chartering it is nebulous at best. There are ships that have gone on what was supposed to be a 2-day journey and returned 5 years later.
Is there anything you have or any description that you can give me of your...
She takes out a roll of parchment and unfurls it. And most maps of Theros have approximations of where islands should be based on everyone's best guesstimate. And she, actually, let me consult the map 1 second. She points to a tiny island in the middle of the Dakra Isles. Technically, it's this one. You will know it when you see the twin ridges of impossibly high peaks. The island is simply known as the Fangs.
Thank you, Penelope. That's really helpful.
Now, please understand. Farrakha is a goddess of healing. but she is also a goddess of poisons and disease. Balance is her goal above all else. Now it is possible that Agrippe will seek to aid you simply to restore what seems to be a gross imbalance. Whether she exacts a toll for her secrets, however, I cannot guarantee.
I understand. Hopefully her cost will be worth it. But I'll have to see.
She takes your hand in hers and says, "Please understand, this is information I did not share lightly. I'm doing this because I trust you. And this is not a threat, but a simple warning. Be careful. I trust you. If I were you, I would ensure my trust is not misplaced. Not for what I may do, but what Agrippe may do."
I will try and maintain the balance where I can. But I will prevent cataclysmic change where I can too. What has happened to my people is not what was meant to happen.
I suspect that is truly the case. And I wish you all the best in restoring your home.
Thank you, Penelope.
She nods. If there's anything else,
Nothing right now. Thank you.
she nods.
Are you okay to let us out now?
Oh, right, yes. It's the one lock, no. It's...
The duality of Eslin right there, like anxiety.
She returns to her light blue elixir that she keeps brewing.
What are you brewing, by the way?
Ah, yes. Latest concoction. I'm very excited. This is a... One second. I had it up and then I had to go to the map.
I knew, like, there was a very deliberate description there, like...
This is a potion of aqueous form.
Ooh.
When you drink this potion, you will transform into a pool of water.
That does sound very interesting.
Allowing you to slip through the tiniest cracks, even through a lock.
Well, when it's brewed, I hope to come and get a batch or a bottle or a vial.
Oh,
You guys are gross.
I have a couple prepared. I was just making more.
Oh, are they expensive? I imagine they're expensive.
500.
I'm too poor for that right now, but when I'm not, I might take one off you.
Do you ask that, Ganassi?
No, I was asking in terms of whether or not I was asking the DM that question. Cool. Thank you.
Who means?
Concern intense. So,
Guys, step out onto the street. The town is yours.
So I would actually very much like it if we could go and do the Uncharted Islands quest now. Thank you.
Sure. I mean,
Amalia
local
says to
guidance.
you, "Are you saying we get onto the ship and then we kill everyone and then commandeer the ship?"
Yes.
sure.
Oh, I was kidding. Wow, okay.
Oh, oh, ha ha ha. So, yeah, we were kidding too.
You guys watch as Eslin's serious stare in her eye twitches involuntarily.
Well, how much is a boat?
Is this to say that we are no longer investigating the murderer or investigating Draxos's friend?
I was very happy, you know, find a way to pass the time, but now I've got a heading, I've got to go.
So there's a level of urgency that needs to be had.
Like people are dying in. By the time I return, the whole of Ashiras could be dead. I don't know how quickly this blight is spreading. I don't know how long they have left.
And
Oh.
this uncharted voyage will assist?
I need to find a healer, and then I need to go back to Ashiras.
So again, the uncharted island, I do not see the relevance.
I need someone to show me how to cleanse my temple. That's where the illness originated from.
I am not mishearing that. I am merely asking for clarification. How will an uncharted island acquire you a healer if it is uncharted?
Well, the Fang Islands, the one that Phoebe just spoke about. Not Phoebe.
So not the Theros quest. You have your own a separate quest entirely.
I need to go to the Drakkar Isles.
Where are they in relation to here?
And see.
If it is a long journey, if it is far from where we are, we'd be best suited doing what we can here before moving on.
Kanasi, I can't wait. My whole family's down there. They could be sick now for all I know. And this illness takes you, well, many people have given their family an early end rather than let them suffer.
You don't need to persuade me to assist. I've already given my word I will aid you on this. As long as where we are heading is the right course at this stage for us. I'm just simply putting things in perspective. We do not know where this island is. We do not know if there is anything else that could be of use here before we head there. In terms of information from the library, for example, that might make such exploration of this uncharted land more bearable. This is an example where rushing in headfirst may may not be the wisest course. But it is your quest, it is your obligation, so how should we proceed?
We need money for a boat, or we need to steal a boat. A ship. I understand what you're saying, Ganassi, but I would rather be than wait here and not do anything about it.
If we were to steal a boat in the middle of Melites, we would certainly get the attention that we've been searching for. However, such attention would make it impossible, I feel, for me to complete my obligations. So I must insist that we find some way to do what you need to do that does not involve stealing a boat. Then I will be content. Perhaps we can afford to rent or find passage some other method, find others that are travelling in that direction. But stealing, especially in the largest city in Theros, where we cannot guarantee we will get away with such an act, I cannot risk that.
I'm not asking you to risk it, Ganassi.
Equally, as I have given my word to assist your task, you have given yours to assist mine. Stealing a boat and putting us all as wanted criminals would go against what I need to do.
I thought a god takes what it wants.
Then that's not worthy of being a god. No god, no being should rule sheerly by force and fear.
We'll go to the library and we'll see if we can learn any more about these Uncharted Isles, and then I will go to the docks and find someone somewhere that's going in that direction.
Very well. I will accompany you to the library. I may find information that's useful for me there too. But I will not hinder your investigation.
We'll use that murder as cover.
Cool. So, you guys heading to the Pyrgnos, I'm guessing, right?
Yep.
Okay. Make your way through the streets. Easy enough to do. Traveling through, in and out. Does anyone else wish to do anything on the way?
Nope.
Super. Okay. Over the course of about an hour, you make your way through the city from where you are, and then up the steps to of the winding path that leads to the. You see now the and you. Only Ganassi has seen it up close, but everybody else you witness it for the first time, and you'd seen it from afar, but you take a moment to take it in. It's not so much a tower as it is a floating spiral, a spiral of floating tablets and stones that each have glowing floating glyphs upon each section that just sort of slowly rotates. It's this enormous glowing pillar of floating tablets that each contain you gather a wealth of information.
As we get a little bit closer, I'm going to probably, I imagine Eslin's probably been leading the way for the most part. But I'm going to gently place my hand on her shoulder and say, allow me to try and gain access first. We may not need to be dishonest to do so.
We're not being dishonest, Ganassi. We do have business here. I'm not saying that we won't interview the people that we were told to interview. I'm just saying that we have other purposes while we're here as well.
If you wish to speak with them, you can. I won't get in the way. I was merely offering.
Go ahead and be your charming self. I'm not really one for talking today.
Ganassi's going to walk forward to where the guards were.
You
The
approach
guards
the
stopped him
gate.
last time.
It's a different two guards, but these two Miletian hoplites are standing at attention, as the other two were. Who goes there?
One of Tempest.
Who?
Oh, there we go. Travellers to Melitis that have been assisting with many people and their needs in town. Thistlespine, the tree on the overarch of the mountain overlooking Melitis. The Draxos, the maker of the forge, and assisting with the owner of a very well-known bathhouse in town. I visited here when we first arrived, seeking information for particular ends, and was told we could not return until we had proven ourselves. We now return not only with the same intent, but also to assist the guards on the latest on the demise of one Homogeneous. We are conducting our own investigation to see if we can assist the Melitis Guard in this matter.
Make a persuasion check.
Okay. Ooh! That's an 18 plus 2 for a non-natural 20.
Nice. Whispers for a minute. Sorry, mumbles to his companion for a minute.
I take a small step back to allow him to converse without having to mutter.
And what business do you have speaking to the High Thaumaturge?
Myself, I am searching for relics of my own past. Ones which I believe travelled through these lands at some point. I have been searching for any artifacts of the old war that might lead me to finding out the truth of my own heritage. That is my own personal goal.
I can try to speak to her. It's clear you've come a long way. And between you and me, my daughter did tell me about the nice tree man who she started playing with. So, I'm inclined to believe you. I will speak to her. Please understand, there are kings who have come to this city and been turned away.
I understand.
Twirls a spear, plants it in the ground. Excuse me. He walks away.
A little part of me expected him to have something of a teleport when he did that, and I try my best to kind of not show my disappointment with the flurry that did absolutely nothing. and I'll kind of step back to the group.
Cool. About 20 minutes pass. You watch as he sort of walks all the way up to the tower. Doesn't even, like, do a door or anything. He just walks at the tower and then he vanishes. Because this doesn't look like a building. It's just like a rotating tornado of tablets.
Yeah, I get you. As we're kind of waiting, I'll kind of... Actually, I'm assuming the rest of the party were close enough to hear everything was said.
Yeah, I guess.
No, I won't say anything because I don't need to repeat myself.
Okay. Something unconventional here. Can I get someone to roll me as just a straight D100?
Who is feeling lucky?
I've already had a good roll, so I'm going to excuse myself for this one.
My dice are permanently cursed, so... Oh, do you know what? Nah, fuck it, I'll have a go.
Yeah!
I was going to say straight 100. You going to take it or should I?
Oh, you do it.
Okay, here we go. That's fucking useless. 10.
Sometimes 10's good.
10 out of
Yeah, it depends on if you're
D100.
higher... Yeah.
Yeah.
About 30 minutes later, he appears at the base of the tower.
You have 10 seconds with that.
Walks the way along back. Goes up to you guys. You caught her in a good mood today. Right this way. When it's a D100, lower is better.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah!
Nice.
Boy!
Nice.
Oh!
I'm really curious. I'm just gonna roll a D100 and see what would have happened.
See what you got.
Nice.
Oh, do you know what? I shit you not. Actually, the same. Let me
Really?
send you a...
You got 10 as well?
Yeah.
Ah,
Nice.
the fates
Let me
are
send-
smiling on us. There we go. But now
Yeah.
that's the next D100 that we need.
Yeah, I know.
well.
Yeah.
What's the word? No divine intervention coming this way.
All good. So like I smile and nod, and I will. Yeah, well, I guess we follow because that's awesome.
Yeah.
He takes you guys up to the tower base, and it's even more intimidating up close. Just this rotating spiral of endless tablets. You can barely even catch the information spinning across it, but some of them are small little scrolls, and others are enormous truncheons of just reams of information. The guard claps a hand on your shoulder, Ganassi, and says, "Consider this a friendly warning. Try anything, and they'll never find what's left of you."
I nod respectfully, and I will say she has offered to speak to us. I understand the honor.
Just walk in a straight line. And he walks away, returns to his post.
We'll walk in a straight line.
There's no floor.
You guys watch as the Ganassi walks up right where he gets to the right where the spinning stone slabs are an inch from his face, and then just takes a step and just vanishes.
Oh, he's
Are we all
finally done.
following?
Let's go.
This is like the worst game. This is the worst game of knockdown ginger ever. That's it. Oh. That's it.
We?
You guys all follow suit?
Yep.
Yeah.
You go greeted with a feeling of weightlessness that lasts but a moment before boom, you land on soft velvet carpet. And you look around, and you're in a veritable palace that stretches for half a mile up and half a mile in every direction. Rows after rows of shelves of books line and scrolls of every ilk line like almost like a maze on the ground. It's separated enough that you could just walk straight through, but it's just stack after stack after stack in sort of this geometric shape that just spans across this entire floor. Every now and then you see floating platforms that propelled by you have no idea what, each one of them containing either a laboratory or a lounge or something of the effect. Just these roving discs, each containing their own little aisle of a room almost.
Not bad.
Now then, what can I do for you?
Kind of, I look around to see if I can source the sound of the voice.
Yeah, is there a person we see?
You hear the
Just a
voice coming
voice.
from right behind you. You see a woman in her about late 50s, early 60s. Her hair is in these two braids that go down the sides and loop round her the back into one long braid. And she wears a brass circlet that holds her hair in place. She has a breastplate on, like a ornamental one that seems to be part of a uniform, and some basic golden scale mail that goes across down to these short sleeves. On what everything else is just a very long white robe. Her arms are completely exposed though. That ends in the breast mail and just the long white gown. The hair, which you gather was once black, has streaks of gray throughout and has become a much lighter shade as a result. And a very what was probably a very beautiful woman, and still is, in a more sage kind of way, although you gather that she hasn't lost much of the beauty that she had in her youth. But now you see the crow's feet at the eyes, around the eyes, and especially around the lips, dimples, and the odd slightly crackled skin you gather from a lifetime in the sun. And in her hand, like a staff, he's holding a staff. But you take a closer look, the staff extends almost 50% above her height as well. And the top third of it is a sword blade. It appears to be some form of a glaive she's using it as a staff.
Well, fuck.
Fuck with the old lady.
Get that impression. The Ganassi will bow his head respectfully, and he will say,
Some powers too.
"We know the honor you extend to us by granting us audience. It is appreciated. I could spend many days asking many questions about all of this
I'm
for the
sure
pursuit of knowledge.
I'm sure you could.
And yet,
I must say the novelty is quite pleasant. Stuffy officials and autocrats get so terribly boring. I thought this might be a refreshing change of pace."
Ganassi kind of opens his mouth as if he's like he's like a kid in a candy store that just wants to ask all the questions, but he closes his mouth and stops. And
If
he
you're
looks
looking
Wesley,
for a remedy
and
for your slack jaws, I may have something.
And I give the floor to Eslin to ask any questions she has.
Oh,
Why don't we get comfortable first? Maybe that will ease the conversation. And she just... on one of the platforms... and then lowers. Hang on. Lands. And you see this one in particular has little futons and couches arranged in a sort of like a floor spread. There's a some sort of hookah-like type set in the middle with various teas and cakes already seemingly pre-prepared. And you see these little bronze weasels. They seem to be like little bronze statues of ferrets that are scurrying about, and they're prepping tea and moving things about and carrying trays and scurrying. Shall we?
Oh my god.
And she steps up onto the platform and lets go of her staff, which stays hoisted in midair of its own accord, and just almost slinks down on one of the small, just couches.
I will
Please sit.
gingerly step onto the platform and also sit down on probably one of the ones that are facing more or less opposite where she sat. Maybe not directly, maybe a bit just off.
What do the rest of you guys do?
I guess we go sit too and have some tea.
As you all step onto the platform, and it begins floating again. 10 meters, 20 meters, 30 meters, 70 meters. You guys are floating high now. And it just resumes its sort of...
touching the tea.
And you gather these all seem to be following like a sort of pattern. Like they all seem to have this same revolving orbit of rotation of each other. And this one rejoins the others.
DM question: do we, whilst we're sitting, like, do we as characters feel like that kind of gravitational movement, or does it just feel like we're just on a platform?
You feel a little bit of a, like, you're not like, oh crap, I need to stay balanced kind of thing, but yes, you do feel a bit of a motion.
Yeah, okay, sure.
Like being in an elevator.
Yeah. Pretty spot on, yes.
Sweet. But yeah, I'm exactly the same as Calliope. I'm not touching the tea. Respectfully.
Oh yeah, I'm not like, I don't want your tea.
The woman looks at you two and says, the woman looks at you, Jason, and Calliope and says, reticent to trust. Good. You're smart. She eyes you up and down, Calliope, for a moment and says, curious. Very curious.
Why? Why curious?
I've never known a lampad to even tolerate the sight of humans.
Then I wouldn't be able to tolerate myself in the mirror.
Oh, I simply meant... Forgive me. I simply meant I didn't think it was possible to make something as wondrous as you.
One way to put it. People usually use the word cursed. Or, cursed.
Well, between you and me, most people would spend a lifetime pecking at their own reflection if you held up a mirror in front of them. Fuck 'em.
All of them?
Oh, I should have seen that coming. I like you. And she waves a hand and a separate tray comes. This one's got a jug of wine, a silver jug of wine with chalices on it.
Take one of the chalices and I sniff it.
Chalice is empty.
Okay, I still sniff it and I for a little bit of wine.
Make a perception check.
Perception. Oh boy. Where's that from? That's 11 plus 8, 19.
Doesn't smell anything out of the ordinary to you.
A little bit of wine and start drinking it.
It's good. Now, what made you darken my doorstep? And who are you?
After giving a bit of a break for possibly letting Esmond speak, if no one does, then Ganassi will speak. We are but a group of travellers, known by the name Tempest in Meletis and
I like that.
Other...
So melodramatic.
We each have our own wants, goals, and aims. I myself am embarking on a journey to discover the truth behind my own heritage, which has led me to this land, and I am seeking the next steps, so to speak. Others are on more noble quests to save their lands and their people. But ultimately, as a group, we are, I would like to say, purveyors for the progress of good. And the reason we have visited here, initially I was the first that wished to travel here, not least to experience this marvel, this wonder, and discover all the knowledge that may be hidden here, but also to find out more about where my own flesh and blood once travelled through this town, this city.
Come here.
I will get out of the chair kind of almost awkwardly, like a kid that's been told to stand up in the middle of an assembly.
She grabs you by the face and like pulls your eyes down and sort of just stares into them and sort of just examines you very unceremoniously.
Yep, fine.
Interesting.
I don't go for a wet fish, but I don't resist.
Very interesting. Descended from the Jinn, if I am not mistaken.
There's one of which I am still trying to find.
I ran into a few of your kind once or twice. Oh, they're dead. Sorry, not the ones you're talking about. And what makes you think I would know where this other Jinn may lie?
I have struggled to find places where relics of the old wars, may have been kept, particularly those that may have contained potent power. One that no doubt would have linked to the one who I seek would have been seen as such an artifact. My hope was perhaps if there is not a repository for these artifacts, there may be one that is known to collect them, or in fact a place where they are known to be sent to.
I have a few, but I doubt they're what you're looking for. All the same, she waves her hand, and you hear like a rushing wind sound as you see these small dots sort of like careen into sight after about a few minutes. And they get a closer, you see a glint of metal. And before you know it, these 5 masks are standing in a row, all identical. Black pitless sockets. The mask itself has been molded to resemble a grimacing human face. The masks themselves are covered with wraps around the sides, almost like a scarf. And the wraps around the forehead meet in a hat that has a point, like a sort of tiny spear point. And the masks themselves have these sculpted teeth on the actual lips over the top, and beautiful, intricate Hasiran runes that just stretch all around the cheeks and under the eyelids. You immediately recognize these are masks belonging to immortals, the most elite fighting force in all of Hasira.
Are the runes themselves, are they identical from each mask?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, Ganassi kind of remains transfixed, frozen in space for a moment, just looking at them, and he just goes quiet, and he doesn't reach out to touch them, but he kind of like there's like the kid that's been told, do not touch the priceless artifact. I want to touch it. So he's kind of like wrestling with his own, this is amazing. But can't touch it. It's so precious. And he just stares at them in stunned silence.
You're able to read the runes that transfix across, and it's the same prayer written across all of them. It's always a motto, essentially. It's quite elongated, but can be basically summed up as I fear not, for I am the epitome of fear itself.
Yeah, after like a long pause, I managed to kind of turn my gaze away, to look back at the thaumaturge, and I bow my head and say, I thank you for the chance to view these myself.
Each one
They may not have
belonged
been
to
what I was after.
Each one belonged to a commander of the immortals. They are rife with dark magic. It was decided they be kept here for safekeeping. Something is on your mind.
I regret I had hoped, perhaps, even if it was a small possibility, that the artifact, the key I sought, would have just been here waiting. Alas, such things are rarely the case.
I don't know how helpful this is to you, but keep in mind, my boy, most of the Hasidian fleet is still at the bottom of the Adriatic Sea. Anything that would have been on those ships, either still there or somewhere down there. No salvage crew was sent after we broke the back of the Hasidian fleet in the war. We just let it all wash away.
A final question. Until I let loose my torrent of questions that are not important. While a more mundane question, nevertheless, a merchant vessel with a bow firing 3 arrows. No, not that. That's not it. Where's my note?
Lightning bolts and the sails are purple.
There it is. I have my small little notes. A merchant vessel, perhaps, with purple sails, 3 lightning bolts upon it. Does that symbol mean anything to you?
That sounds familiar. Give me a moment. Why have I heard that before?
Can I go back to staring at the
Yeah, absolutely.
the process artifacts as we're waiting? Just like, yeah, I got that. Oh my god.
Oh. That's the, Oh, you're gonna laugh. I get some of my, crockery from that merchant vessel. Not the vessel, but the business. It makes glassware. The business is called Bottled Lightning.
Do they trade in melodies?
Absolutely.
I don't suppose you know how often they come to port?
I've not seen them trade in a ship before. Then again, I've not purchased from them terribly often. But, the factory is in town. I'm surprised you had to come to me for this information.
It was
But
more regarding artifacts, but I thought I may as well ask. I was here. This was the last of the important questions I had. I do have many unimportant questions regarding everything, but I feel I have already taken my fill of time.
Oh, yes,
so
yes,
far.
of course. Yes, the place is called Bottled Lightning. I don't know exactly where there is, but I'm sure someone who does.
I will sit down.
Before you go into your torrent, I have a couple questions. Myself. What is your name, boy?
get fucked, you can ask.
I was about to do a mighty boosh. I go by many names. Such information could be dangerous.
Very well. You look like a Galanos to me. Yes, that'll do.
Gonna quickly ask you a question, Red, because I need to just make absolutely certain of one really, really scarily important thing. By opening Discord, if it will let me. Right.
I'm gonna call him Gary from now on.
No, just call him Gale. From Curry. I've always thought you looked a bit like.
Cool, that's fine. That is fine.
JD.
And I'm also... Yeah, that's cool.
Galanos.
It means Azure. Out of character, it actually does.
Let's just call him Gust.
See, I was trying to be nice, but they went meaner.
Because he's full of hot air.
Kind of after... Yeah, as for this whole thing's been going through, the Ganassi's kind of frozen in place. A mixture of mostly concern and uncertainty. But he doesn't say anything.
Should we do an insight check to see if we see?
I mean, it's pretty,
Go ahead and make an
pretty
insight
obvious
check.
that something, yeah.
As you're doing
Something's
that,
definitely, something's definitely put him off.
as you do that, Ganassi, the
Right.
woman looks at you one last time and says, "You do seem determined on your mission. And I have no
That's
doubt
20.
you will find what you seek. Just know that, from personal experience, the light at the end of that tunnel isn't always what we expect it to be." And she has a real sorrow in her eyes for a moment. And then, like a moment, it's gone. What did you roll, Aslan?
20.
Yeah, you see it.
Not
I
natural.
got a 21.
Modified.
Cool. Okay. Either the name, the name is important, or that it was after that was mentioned that he kind of froze in place, and it wasn't from like a sense of like mixture of surprise. There was definitely a sense of almost fear that came
Any
into.
recognition in there?
No, that's actually probably the most peculiar bit. It wasn't. There isn't a sense of of course. If the thing was that he didn't know his name, that hasn't been like an eye-opening moment. The eye-opening is something different, but it also looks like it's like someone getting very close to something that terrifies the crap out of him, and then has kind of stopped just short of that line. But for you kind of like you noticed like that even like the hairs that kind of billow around his head have now kind of come up much more sharp and static. Not like a mad scientist, but there's the best way to kind of if you ever see like a bird of prey that kind of gets spooked, that kind of like their feathers kind of ruffle up for a moment to kind of like either make themselves look big and terrifying. So maybe something like sort of like the wind that kind of flows around the back of his hair kind of has done the same thing.
Okay.
So, Ask away. I find you all so fascinating.
I mean, we did integrate an ant into the community nearby. Well, that's a normal thing to do. I need to travel the assignment of finding a particular island
How
in search
exciting.
of some very potent healing magic. I was wondering if you'd know of an item or a way to guarantee traveling in the right direction around those seas.
Some say that Krufix himself could not navigate the Siren Sea effectively. A good navigator would go a long way. She taps your holy symbol, and the right friends in the right places wouldn't go amiss either.
Yes. I sometimes wonder if I'm doing the right thing, if I'm honest with you. We're going in the right direction.
I've never known Thassa to be uncertain of anything.
She's... Sometimes you just wonder if you're doing the right thing the right way.
There is no way of knowing. All you can do is your best with the information you've been given. And should you fail, and there are times when you will, you get right back up.
If I fail at this, there is no getting back up. There is no after, that's it.
This is Theros, my dear. Nothing cannot be overcome. Not even death. She gives you a wink.
I don't want to mess with death.
Well, I'm not going to lie. It's risky to do so. But I've seen enough in my lifetime to know nothing is impossible with the right attitude. And not a small amount of fury.
I am very angry right now.
Good. Use that. Focus. Don't let it overtake you. Channel it into being effective. And there's nothing you can't do.
I appreciate it.
What's your name, my dear?
Eslin, Landulneth.
Sorry, 1 second. A fine name. I can hear them chanting it already.
I'll say.
Turns to look at you, Jason. You're very quiet.
I'm honestly just taking all of this in. It's been a rather intense few weeks with these people.
She gets up and steps up towards you. I sense conflict within you.
That's very much an accurate description of what's happening.
Divine threads pull you in opposing directions. Uncertainty clouds your actions.
That's the way it seems. It seems I've been doing something one way for too long, and I'm not sure if I need to change or if I need redirection.
Well, some philosophers choose to define insanity as repeating the same actions expecting a different outcome. I don't know if that's true, but it's something worth thinking about.
Thank you for your wisdom.
I'm just glad it's useful to someone who has certainly earned over a lifetime of scars and sorrow. Someone make an insight check.
Oh, can I do one?
I am
mean,
going to.
I guess we can all do one, right?
Yeah, everyone make an insight
I
check.
don't think I would be at this point, so I will skip.
Oh,
13. Oh, hold up. Insight. Yeah, 14.
24.
24.
Ooh.
Natural 20.
Calliope and Eslin, you guys both get the sense that this is someone who's just happy to have the companionship of someone real. Real people with, real lives and problems. And you get the sense that she maybe doesn't see too many people as authentic as you guys anymore. Maybe it's just a little bit lonely.
I know where all my sending spells are going. After my family, of course.
Oh yeah, your family. What about them? Love you.
If I might ask, Galanos, and she says that quite obviously and plainly, as if she's going out of her way to be a dick about it just a little bit.
Yep. Again, the hairs bristle on his neck again, but he turns and looks.
What do you hope to accomplish once you find your heritage?
Godhood.
Others have tried.
Two, in fact. But more than that, I seek to find a purpose, a way to bring balance and understanding to certain facets. For one to be, as is called a god, you must have a purpose.
And what kind of god do you hope to be?
Through my travels, both with my new companions and before, from stories I've heard from many, the power of one's word is broken, shunned, sullied, destroyed by those that are unwilling to keep it. It is the closest thing I can describe as an abomination. I would seek to serve as a mediator for those that would keep their word. Nothing more and nothing less. Not just the word of a promise, but the spirit and the insight behind it.
A god of
That
order.
is
Of a sort. Good. Order is good. A refreshing change from the last would-be god, who sought naught but chaos. Pay mind you do not
There
follow
is-
the steps of Xenagos. They don't lead down a good path.
the day I fail to keep the spirit of my word is the day that I am not worthy of this path.
Very good.
Does my answer satisfy you?
It remains to be seen. Words are one thing. Actions. That's the tricky part. Xenagos was born tortured. He was a parasite emotionally, and in the end metaphysically. He sought naught but to satisfy his own whims.
Then he could not have become a god, or he certainly could not have remained one. A god does not serve himself.
Oh, a god certainly can serve themselves, and Xenagos did.
I shall rephrase.
How do you think?
Worthy gods do not serve themselves.
And she leans in real close and says, but unworthy gods still may arise. Tell me, how do you think Xenagos met his undoing?
Either other gods would have conspired against him. I assume it was a him. Or
Xenagos was a
perhaps he saw the, or perhaps I say yeah. Ganassi doesn't. The Ganassi doesn't know. Or perhaps a more suitable fate. The people forgot him.
Oh, if only the people had forgot him. That would have made things so much easier. And she twiddles her thumb. And her staff, which had remained poised, just floats through the air. Gently. And lands in the palm of her hand. And she leans in real close to you and says, I stuck this right through his heart and dashed him into the ether of Nyx.
I will
like that.
maintain her gaze.
Calliope, Eslin, and Jason make history checks.
Thank you. Hey.
Boy,
History.
I have a +3 to history.
Seems.
Natural 20, baby.
22 for me.
23.
Hey, 22 for me. Hey, twinsies.
Okay, all three of you have a moment of fuck as you realize you are talking to Elspeth.
We've heard that name before, I swear.
Huh? Just don't know where.
A champion of Heliod and the slayer of Xenagos. Only known mortal ever to kill a god.
Yep. I will maintain her gaze. And while the Gnassy's hair is still very much kind of like stuck on the back of his neck somewhat, he'll meet the gaze. There won't be any sort of like malice or any fear or any anything other than I think the closest emotion to kind of say is sincerity, and he will say, "It is good there are those like you willing to step up for those that should not be."
Angeline, and it is good that one who aspires for such a lofty goal keeps this perspective in mind. The fights I've been in have broken things inside me that have never been fixed. But others would rise up. Should you decide that such an honorable identity is not in your best interests anymore.
If that were the case, you should know that you have already set yourself in such a way that if you wished me not to, I could not.
Why do you think I did it? I'm no fool.
Yeah. And I'd hope that the same can one day be said of me.
I hope that as well. This world has already lost too much to the whims of those who fancy themselves above all else. And in this moment, you guys notice there's a look of real pain in her eyes. Right. Now, if there's nothing else, I'm afraid I'm a bit tired. She twiddles her thumb and lands down. And she gestures. Just walk in that direction. You'll be seen out.
Thank you for your insight, and thank you for what you've done for Theros. I don't know if many people say it, but
Oh,
I'll say
plenty. But you're the first.
also, if you get bored, there's a guy in town. His name's Daxus, and he doesn't have many friends
At
either.
the sound of that name, she becomes incredibly grave and says, "How do you know that name?"
Oh, shit.
Well,
He's an acquaintance.
he's a friend of ours.
Did you come here to toy with my emotions? Who are you? Why did you come here? How do you know that name?
Smooth. Nice one. Well
I
done.
know, 11 out of 10, Eslin.
We
The
used
spear
to
just
buy one
floats
from
up
him.
and angles towards you guys. Start talking.
I will.
I would like to cast Zone of Truth on myself.
Nothing happens.
Oh, shit.
Antimatically.
Does it use a spell slot?
Yeah.
Okay, just check it.
I will. Actually, will I say anything? I don't think I will. No. I'll keep
Someone needs
quiet.
to say something quick.
Okay,
How
Okay.
do
can I
you
single
know
step
that
forward
name?
to the front of the group and go? There is one in the town of Melites that goes by that name. He works in the forge.
She breathes a sigh. And real tears run down her eyes.
Oh my god, I'm so sorry.
I offer
No.
one of my tinctures.
You want to know.
Are you okay?
I'm a fool. She, wipes another tear.
Can we go towards her? Is she gonna, kill us?
You don't know.
I will go towards her.
She
and
doesn't,
try to put my hand on her shoulder.
She tentatively puts your arm. She can tell this is a very guarded person, but she lets you in just a little bit.
Do you want to talk about it?
Make a persuasion check.
So... oh shit. I have a +5 to persuasion. With a 19, that's 20.
4.
Math. 24.
What's your intelligence score again?
Huh?
What's your intelligence score again?
My intelligence.
What, in
My
real
intelligence
life?
is shit. +0 in game and IRL.
Oof.
Maths is not my strong point.
Elspeth, must have just been a coincidence. Or more likely a namesake. There was a Daxos more than 30 years ago who was a champion of the city. I simply knew him as the love of my life.
Yeah.
It's good to know. He's a good man. He does good work. He is dedicated.
She says,
to
she
trying
actually
to-
laughs for a second. This is not the same Daxos, most likely.
No, of course, but I thought you might want to know that your beloved's name lives on in someone who is honorable.
That's good to hear.
Good save.
That's what I meant anyway. I didn't think that he was her boyfriend.
I don't know.
Oh, yeah, to be fair, I don't know.
How old is he?
Oh,
We will go back and ask.
yeah, actually, you guys don't know. Half nymphs age slower, so...
Okay.
Could be 205. You don't know.
Although he's a lonely person, so
When my Daxos
if
was
he's got
killed...
time.
When my Daxos was killed, I went mad with grief. I stormed into the underworld itself in order to bring him back. But he was little more than a hollow husk, with no memory of who he was.
Returned.
And I lost him all over again. And she just bursts into tears.
I'll give her a big hug.
She doesn't hug you back, but she just lets it happen. After a moment, she sort of just fortifies herself all over again, wipes her eyes. I'm tired. Please, tee yourselves up.
Thank you for sharing with us. Have a good evening.
She gives you a curt nod and then waves her hand and the platform floats away as you guys are left on the floor of this archive.
Wait. Before she goes, I wanted to say that if I'm ever in the city again, with her permission, I'd like to just spend time with her, just as company.
Perhaps.
Well,
Give
I
me a
could
little
always
bit of
send
warning.
her a message.
She gives you like a... She just says again, perhaps. But you definitely get the sense that she's not in the mood to talk right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, to be fair, we just did bring up her dead boyfriend. Like,
So
What do you mean we?
you
That's a very loose term. We were literally out of the door, and then you said a name that triggered her.
you are just the worst, Aslam.
Hey,
Fucking we.
I'll be mean to her. I didn't know.
I honestly just thought that it would. What's actually happened was Draxos had like spurned
Yeah, I
her levels.
literally
I was like,
thought
yeah,
you pissed her
fucking
off.
yeah.
Why do you still call him
Oh,
Draxos?
Daxus.
I call him what I know him as Fireboy, and I'm doing my best to learn his actual name. But there we are. Cool. So we will head out.
You guys just walk in the straight line she pointed to, and then... Your eyes are out the door again.
You're not welcome anymore.
Do we feel good about what just happened?
I mean, it could have gone a bit better towards the end, but not pointing any fingers.
Dyson just points at Eslin.
Hey!
Tap him on the hand. No.
Damage had been done before that point anyway.
Relatable.
Yeah.
So, where to now? We didn't actually ask her about the murder. We could have asked her about the murder.
I
Her mind's
expected
not on
you were
the
going
murder.
to.
What?
With all due respect, from the conversation we just had, I don't think the murder is a high priority anymore.
Yes. Galanos.
Yes.
It feels from the conversation that we just had that
Bonded.
everyone, well, most of our priorities are out at sea, looking at Ganassi with like a knowing look.
He doesn't seem to have heard you. He's looking at Eslin.
Do you like that name? Don't shrug at me, Ganassi. Do you like that name?
I
Use your
feel
words.
I have no opinion on it.
Yes, you do.
Insight check.
Make an insight
Can
check.
if you like.
$17?
He's genuine. He's something. Something has like it's not the name, or it's not the name that's caused him.
What was the meaning of the name?
There's
Zero.
he's still looking at Eslin. And he hasn't moved.
Do I look pretty in this light, Ganassi? Why are you staring at me?
Oh my God.
What did you want?
Oh, I just wanted to use that name. I've been in a bad mood all day, but seeing your reaction to that was pretty interesting.
He softens slightly, but doesn't say anything.
Come on, let's go. Let's go see a man about Spotted Islands.
You guys are escorted out by the guards and are free to make your way. So, where you're headed?
Well,
We could pick up the job. Do we know if where he wanted to investigate was in a similar place to the Darker Isles?
You have no idea.
Also, what was the reward for the murder mystery?
There was not
it's
one
we-
yet.
We were just offering to assist the guard. It was more for renown than anything else.
But we have the renown. So
We're gonna pay us an exposure.
Yeah, I mean, it seems like we're known by the right people at the moment.
would Daxos sell disguise kits?
Maybe.
I imagine
Yeah,
he would
that's
sell some form. He would be able to construct something that could do
Something, yeah.
the cost. However,
Hello. I got some.
Okay, cool.
She said in the middle of having paint on her hand.
I'm in character, okay?
Yeah, that's what I meant. It was serendipitous.
you should have taken the Bardic College of Painter.
Is there one?
There is. It's really cool. You can paint on armor to give it AC.
That's really
Stuff.
cool.
Yeah. Anyway, sorry.
I know my next
Oh, I have
character.
one. Never mind.
That reminds me, I
Along
made a
with the
point
20
to
others.
actually create a half-nymph sub-race, or like race specifically, and like tweak a few things about it, so I need to do that tomorrow. Sorry,
Oh,
by
nice.
the by.
Well, since you got the time to.
Oh yeah, definitely.
I mean, I was gonna do one. I really wanted to do this blood thing, but
Oh, did you
I'm
want
gonna
to
stay
do
on
it?
headphones. I'm
Because I was
disappearing to make a cup of tea for Lily, but I am on headphones, so we can
as in
continue.
create the half-nymph sub-race, because it was really just reskinned half-elf, but changing some,
Oh, Puck's such a good boy.
He's
but changing
He
some.
was, however, when he sleeps on his back, lying over the thing, so he always looks dead. So I always have mini heart attacks, but he's fine. Giving him food, so he's okay. Right, yeah, I am on headphones, so carry on. But yeah, the Ganassi will
Yeah.
follow where we go.
Yeah, just to finish what I was saying, because it was literally just reskinning half-elf, but I was going to do a bunch of flavor and lore stuff to it, so it reads like its own proper race. And then I was going to maybe do a couple tweaks for a couple of them, because I don't believe there is a appropriate naiad one. But if you wanted to do that, you're welcome to, Teddy.
I mean, cool. I'll do that at work tomorrow. It's gonna be dead.
Cool.
And I'll send you like version if you wanna .
Oh, I thought you were going to create in D&D Beyond. Yeah, no, I can do the D&D and Beyond side of it.
How are you gonna? Okay.
Oh, I can create it in D&D Beyond, so it's an actual option you can select.
Yeah, it's in homebrew.
Yeah. I can use half-elf as a template and then just change the text to be what I want, and then all the mechanical stuff is already done.
Yeah. All modifiers and everything. It's really cool.
I was gonna do the same, but yeah, sure, go ahead.
No, that's what I meant. I thought that's what you were gonna do. Okay, cool. Sorry, I must have misunderstood initially. Okay.
If my manager's watching, I'm most definitely not doing that at work. I'm gonna do that after hours.
Hi, Teddy's manager. Okay, so, guys, where you headed?
Talk to man about that, I guess.
I think we're gonna go talk to the bloke about the islands he wants to go to, and if he's not going in the ones we want to go to, gonna try and convince him that he wants to go to my island.
Okay.
Yeah, can we eventually take a stop by Daxos at some point?
We can stop at Daxos's on the way, I think.
Chat. Hmm.
Daxos, how old are you? Thank you. Goodbye.
Did you have a fast lover? Did you die? Did you come back?
I'm just imagining him in the middle of like carefully constructing like this magic vase or something. How old are you? And he dropped it. He's like-
The spirits of 1,000 soldiers, like, ooh.
Just come out
That's
the
all I can
bar.
do for it.
He just looks at you guys. It's like you broke it. Now I gotta go find another 1,000 dead spirits. Cool. So you guys headed to Boatman first, or to the Crucible first?
We'll go Crucible first, just because it's familiar territory.
Okay, easy enough. You
Hi, honey, we're home.
you hear the clanging from the workshop stop, and he steps out. My favorite customers. What can I do you for?
How old are you?
What?
Ow.
What?
Sure.
It just occurred to
me and
me, we
Ezra
never
had a
asked.
bet. That too.
What did you say, Calliope? Out of character? I didn't actually catch that.
I was just trying to, like, I said,
She was like, me and
me
Eslin had a bet.
Eslin had a bet.
Oh, right. Make a deception check.
I'm actually good at
Yeah.
this way. Deception. Baby. 19.
Pretty good. Dexter's like, I'm 28.
Like, actually 28, or like a half nymph 28?
I don't know what that is. I'm actually 28.
Okay, just checking. I think that means you win, Calliope.
Yes.
In more ways than one.
So, where's that gold you owe me?
Fuck you. I think it was a copper. What are you on about?
Fine, a silver.
Fine, I will give you 1 silver in front of Daxa, and I will place it very hard into your hands.
Daxos just thumbs his eyes so hard. Was that
Told you,
everything?
We had a bet.
Do you know anywhere that does, like, apology food baskets?
Oh, sorry.
He chuckles. What did you do?
I might have. So, did you know that you're named after a great hero of the city of Meletis called Daxus?
Yeah?
Well, it turns out that we met his former partner, and at the mention of your name, saying that you might want to be friends because she's a bit lonely, she flew into a mildly violent rage, and
Wait,
was
you got to speak to
asking how we-
Elspeth? The Elspeth.
Yes, we get around.
How
we're
do you
well-
know?
And you brought up her dead lover.
I mean, not deliberately. I was sort of trying to bring up you because you were a lonely weirdo. In the most loving way.
He looks at you like... Moving on.
So I thought, since she seemed a bit lonely and she wanted some people around her who were actually genuine, and you seemed like a pretty okay guy at most of the time. Like, I thought, wow, I do like you. I think you're cool. It just depends on whether Ganassi's in the room or not. And I imagine that Ganassi wouldn't be in the room if he were with Elsbeth. So,
Can I just
yeah,
say I'm kind of
basically-
done feeling bad about that now? Like, you guys have kind of milked it at this point, and...
Oh yeah.
I'm well past the point of
it's
guilt
just,
about...
no. I'm not trying to make you feel guilty.
You sure about that?
Like-
The
we
guilt,
will-
lies,
we-
the guilt lies firmly with Eslin.
What?
You did bring up the name.
Oh, yes, I brought up the name. That's not what we're talking about. He was talking about us trying to make feel guilty about you. But to be honest, like, what happens is that, to be honest, I think most people just want to kill Ganassi. Like, everyone has that urge every now and again.
I feel that you're perfectly valid, but the point is,
Well, thinking back on it,
apology
there was a slightly more
basket.
appropriate response I could have done.
Apology basket. Fruit, cake, something.
I
Words.
am sure that there is something like that, and I'm sure it'll be easy enough to ask around, but no, I cannot
But
say.
we can come
No.
to you.
Don't change the subject. How did you know exactly who we were talking about?
Oh, because it's a legendary story of Melodies. They did
Oh,
say
no.
that.
You just points at
didn't
Eslin,
even-
what she said.
But we didn't.
You said, Daxos just says, everyone knows Daxos, the hero of Meletis, was the lover of Elspeth, and everyone knows the name Elspeth because she stuck her spear through a fucking god and killed him.
I know. Well, I forgot about that. Okay. Bloody hell.
We were just told that story, like, not anyway.
Oh, yes, me, you, and Jason did know that story. You are a bard. It is your job to tell stories.
We knew it pretty well. I would say we knew it, like, above.
I mean, there's
above
probably about
15.
400 songs about that battle.
This entire interaction is going better than most other interactions we've had in this forge, and that really is saying something. What is it that we came here for again?
We
I'd
wanted
like
to
to know
ask
that as
Dax
well.
how old he was.
Yeah, I also am now confused.
Also, do you have a disguise kit?
That's the one.
Or a compass? Could you make a compass that can navigate the Siren Sea? You are very crafty.
He just laughs at you.
Keeper's cloak.
With all of this, Jason's going to slowly, like, lead Neil down to Eslin to be like, pick one topic and stay on topic for that topic, please.
I want 2 items.
That compass, I'm sure you don't need if you have the cloak that allows you to navigate.
Daxos
I have
facepalm
said
and
it 3
says,
times now. I do have the bloody cloak.
okay, let's
Which
take
is
it
what
from
I'm
the
saying,
top.
is
Yeah,
we don't-
but you have the cloak of navigation. That is only going to give you a plus something. I want something that if we get like proper lost, we can find our way back. Maybe like, I don't know, something like a half stone, but not a half stone because I don't think those exist in D&D.
You want bloody Jack's compass.
I want a special compass. I want Captain Jack's compass, yeah, from Pirates of the Caribbean.
That didn't work.
Even
It did.
even if I could make a compass that could locate anything on the material plane, and I'm not saying that's impossible, but that's a fucking tall order. Imagine this.
I mean,
He retrieves
if
a
you
stone
make
slab
it,
from his-
I will earn enough money.
He retrieves a stone slab from his workshop, one of the ones he uses to make his molds for his casting, and then he just flexes his hand, and it sort of takes goddamn saliva. Takes sort of a shape of a topographical map of islands with a little ship that's sort of moving along. Let's say that's you. You can have the best compass in the world, but it doesn't matter if he snaps and the islands all of a sudden move into different positions. Doesn't matter if that happens.
I thought you were super cool with access. I thought you could do super cool things. Sounds to me like you can't do it.
He just looks at you and says, "You're an asshole.
I am.
And how vain do you think I am?"
Well,
I
I
picked Eslin
think-
not to answer that question.
no.
In fact,
it's
on this
fine.
point, I feel like it is important that any social interaction proceeds with Eslin being in another room.
No, my point is, I don't think it's a vanity thing. I do think that, Yeah, a tiny bit a vanity thing, but more like a challenge thing. Because I feel that you would, you know, you're the only one that makes magical items in this whole bloody place.
I'm the only one who sells
And-
them. I'm not the only one who makes them. Just point of clarification.
Well, you're the only one that sells them. And, we do cool stuff. But I think this item, if you could make it and if you could mass produce it, that's the other thing, would be an absolute money maker.
Oh, undoubtedly.
But you won't. And that's cool. So,
I'm
fruit
not saying
basket
I
and disguise
wouldn't.
kit.
I'm not saying I wouldn't attempt it. I'm saying an item that could pierce the nebulousness of the Siren Sea would be prohibitively expensive and not possible to mass reproduce.
I mean,
It would also
if you make
take-
it once.
It could also take years to make. That's a lot of enchantment.
Well, I'm only like 40, so, I've probably got like a good just under 100 years left.
Sweet Jesus.
Okay, that'll be 200,000 golden drachmi.
Okay, I'll be back.
Because I would basically have to stop doing anything else for the next 2 years, 18 hours a day.
It's on my to-do list. So, disguise kit and muffins. Or fruit.
Is that your new band name?
Yes, Daxus, it is my new band name.
Okay,
I've decided to abandon my quest to save my family and instead invest in a muffin company.
alright, dial it down a notch, sweetie. I'm sorry, I don't carry disguise kits. I deal mainly in weapons.
Okay.
Muffins.
Or fruit that says, I'm sorry I brought up your dead partner.
Try Mirina, she's 2 blocks that way.
Okay, thank you.
The shop's called Mirines.
Okay, have a good
Is there also
day.
like
Come back
is
soon.
that also like a general store?
No, it's a bakery.
Okay. Can I ask where there is a general store to pick up just general items that aren't like enchanted or magic or anything like that?
He gives you the directions to one.
Sweet. Thank you. I would go to that store by myself if I have to,
Cool.
and then meet up with the team later.
I will go to the bakery and get like a basket of pastries and ask if they can send them to
The general.
Elsbeth.
Okay, cool. So Mirines, it's a portly little woman who's in her 80s. And yes, she's able to prepare. If you mark off, how nice of a basket do you want?
Like, pretty good.
Okay, I'll say mark off 2 gold.
Okay.
And she prepares this incredible basket that has these fig tarts, these little treats which are basically cashew nuts that have been coated in this pomegranate sauce that's then been crystallized. So it's pomegranate coated cashews, which are incredible. Chocolate covered dates, just this myriad of pastries and treats.
Okay. Can I ask her to deliver it as well? And I'll write a little note in the basket that says.
As you are beginning to write the notes, I kind of like lean over and say, "Are you sure it is wise to bring up what you've done again? Perhaps maybe something a bit more broad."
I was just going to put something like, I wish you well. Thank you for your time.
Okay. I was
Love
making
that
sure
voice.
you weren't doing what you were saying you were
Well-
going to do in the forge.
Sorry you had to go through the pain of losing the love of your life twice in a row.
Twice.
Yeah, sorry the whole, like, trying to resurrect your dead boyfriend didn't work out. That must have been rough.
Crying
buddy.
emoji face and all that, yeah.
LOL. I thought it meant lots of love.
No,
Yeah.
no, it does. Thank you for your time. Wish you all the best.
And you do, and
Love.
she hands it off
Tempest.
to this centaur who's in her employ, who you gather is somewhat of a delivery centaur.
Horse.
Yeah. No, funnily enough, he has these... It's more dignified than saddlebags, but it is basically just this whole kit
Deliveroo.
up that just stores stuff on his back. And he just adds that to the thing, and he sort of gallops off. And as he turns to look at you, Eslin, he says, you look at him quizzically, he says, "It's a living."
I love the idea of Deliveroo. What would the horse equivalent of Deliveroo be?
Hungry Horse. We used to have Hungry House, and now it's Hungry Horse.
Yeah, I guess. What happened to Hungry House?
Got consumed by Just Eat.
Reasonable.
There we
Neighbor.
are. Fun fact.
I got it. So, you see like a small wooden sign as part of his backpack that says Neighborhood Express.
Oh,
Oh,
no.
I love it. Gives me life. Okay.
Jokes aside, centaurs would be boss-ass deliverymen.
Yeah, they would be so good. Like, imagine them, because have you seen the little scooters? Oh no, you wouldn't have. They're like this new thing in Birmingham. But basically, like, you have these little scooters that everyone like has for like delivery instead of the Boris bikes.
Yeah.
And so like everyone keeps getting in trouble because blind people keep tripping up, and also like they just keep riding into people. So how good would centaurs be? Like,
It's because the driving age for those I think is 16 or something
Yeah.
like younger, so that's why they can do it. Or younger, I don't know what it is, but yeah, basically you can use those earlier. Right.
DM note.
Yep.
When I was off at the other general store,
Yes,
I got,
so Dax has
25
told you
sheets
it is called
of
the
a-
Warriorless Wanderer.
Yeah.
Cool, what would you like to purchase there?
But yeah, so I picked up 25 sheets of paper and some ink.
Yeah, easy enough to do.
Well, sorry, an ink pen.
Easy enough to do.
Yeah.
The satyr,
and I've
the
already-
older
I've already
satyr with
wiped that off on
blonde,
my
graying
thing.
hair and stumped horns, says, yeah, sure thing. Yeah, sure thing. And offers that to you. Okay. So I'm assuming you guys reconvene and then make your way towards the address of Theros.
yes.
Shit boy, yes.
It's getting pretty late in the evening now. You come up to Dorisos. So you come up to this is sort of the area where you met the fat man who ran the bathhouse. It's sort of like a nicer area. And you see this sort of very long house, sort of tall house that's sort of more like a tower almost in how it's arranged. And the domed roof seems to be made out of glass. You knock on the door. After a moment, the door creaks open, and you are greeted by another satyr. Actually, actually no, it wouldn't be a satyr. Just an older gentleman who seems to be sort of in this uniform or black kite, and says, "Yes."
Hello. I believe you were looking for
guards on the high seas when you go adventuring? Looking for new islands?
The master of the house will see you in a moment. Please follow me. And he sort of beckons you inside.
Okay.
And this older, sort of butlerish looking gentleman leads you guys inside, and he sits you down in a lounge area, and he goes upstairs. A few minutes later, a very sort of pitted eyes, surly looking guy, sort of a bit manic, with black, long, greasy hair, comes down and says, "Ah, I understand you got my invitation."
Yes. We were just wondering if we could get some details hashed out with you. How long are we expected to be at sea? Which particular islands are you interested in? Are you willing to take suggestions?
Okay, going backwards in terms of the questions you've asked. No, one, and hopefully no more than a couple of weeks.
And which island are you particularly interested in?
He takes out a map and shows you. It doesn't show up on any map, but I was able to get my hands on magical maps that chart the currents. And through a bit of arithmetic, I've calculated that there has to be one exist, and he shows you guys right here. And he points to a spot close-ish to the Dakra Isles, but it's sort of like this empty space area. The way the currents swirl around, there has to be some form of a landmass right here. I'm frankly surprised.
I'm just trying to find the map. Did you? Oh, bugger! You've sent us the map
if you
before,
go on the world
You
of
have to
Theros,
download it though to see everything.
Yeah, I'm just seeing where I've downloaded it to. Downloaded. Theros draft, I think that was it.
Right. Yes. So if you go there, hang on a second.
Yep, I can see Dakra Isles. Yep. So we are currently in. Oh bloody hell. Okay. Yep. Okay. Cool. Yep. So Dakra Isles directly south.
So
Where's he sort of pointing to?
north of the Dakra Isles, in that sort of wide open space of ocean.
Yeah. Would you mind if we got to see the current map at all? Is that? I happen to know quite a lot about the sea.
Oh, I was not permitted from taking it from the library, unfortunately.
Oh, okay.
But I do remember some of it, and he traces with a charcoal pencil arrows, simple arrows. It's sort of almost looks like a weather map, kind of, and you can sense that you can tell that there's a sort of swirly pattern, almost like a bullseye, right where he says the island is.
Yeah, where the currents are like.
Yeah.
Okay.
There's like this little parting where you would guess like they have to be hitting against something.
Interesting. Okay. And how many shipmen have you got?
I'm sorry, I don't understand the question.
Well, how prepared are you for the sea?
I have my private vessel with its crew of oarsmen and my personal navigator. Any
Okay.
strong men would be up to you to provide. You would be entirely in charge of the safety of the vessel.
And the amount you are offering?
Upon completion of the job, 2,000 golden drachmae.
And will we be receiving any payment beforehand to make sure that we have the necessary equipment?
I could arrange a half upfront float if you require that to purchase the necessary equipment.
Yes, I think we'll need some rations and some, water. We wouldn't want to have to take some from your men while on board.
Understandable, of course. He motions to his butler, who slinks off. I'll have the necessary
And if
coin
we were
prepared.
to find some worthy folk, in addition to ourselves, who'd be willing to travel with us, would they also be receiving part of that price, or?
The payment is the payment. How many it is divvied up under is entirely in your hands.
We kill Ganassi.
If in doubt. Our responsibilities are for the safekeeping of the vessel and those on the vessel. Meaning, when you are charting, are you planning to land or make land on this
of course,
island?
and
if
we
you do
will
discover
be
it?
exploring the island as well.
And so your protection extends also to your explorations.
Correct.
Due to the fact there's only 5 of us, however, we will only be able to take a small party with us.
How
So the
big? This
vessel-
is my question. How big is your crew of explorers? This will determine how many are needed to adequately protect you.
I command a small vessel that has approximately 30 oarsmen. They will remain on the ship unless beaching to make camp, and they are to remain with the ship. That is what they are being paid for.
You might also wish to bring somebody who has a scholarly background
That
who can
is my
document anything we
navigator.
find.
I am the one with the scholarly background. That is my purpose.
Okay.
Cartographer, artist of geography, and purveyor of hidden knowledge.
You must be a delight, Carlos.
I know you're being sarcastic, but actually, yes.
You would fit so well in Triton society. It is terrifying.
Some of my best friends are Tritons.
Lots of people say that.
Oh, I'm not being facetious. I can, perhaps we'll have a celebratory get-together after to celebrate a job completion when we return. And you would, of course, be welcome to attend. Free-flowing wine.
Which family? Are they from a noble family?
I've never really discussed it with them. Some of them are actually just dock workers.
Interesting.
Eslin, you
The
would know
Mansra-
as well, there is a not inconsiderable population of Tritons who are
Of Tritons
born and raised...
on land.
Well, not so much on land, but born and raised on the coastline who sort of take odd jobs. Well, not odd jobs, but work in the cities that are coastal, doing sort of more jobs that require underwater breathing, but they've never visited... Some of them have never visited one of the more out-to-sea cities.
Oh, wait.
In a word, and I ask this purely to ascertain the level of danger you would be willing to put you and your men to for the pursuit of knowledge, how much risk are you willing to put your ship into? In your own experience do you tend to, at the face of a potential grave threat, try your hand another day, or push on with the hand you have?
I like being alive, make no mistake about that. That being said, that is why I have capable fighters in my employ, should they be willing, and he gestures to you guys. You are hired to ensure that I am able to go to what would normally be a tremendous risk and make it an acceptable risk.
I'm satisfied with that answer. I look to the rest of the group. The job seems straightforward enough. The risk seems, and I gesture, acceptable.
Mm-hmm. That seems fine. So, are we taking what equipment are we going to need?
My ship is known as the Golden Thread. It has a ball of yarn that is golden on the sails. It's hard to miss in the docks. We set sail on the morning 2 days from now. I will meet you there at sunlight. We will cast off, and we hope to be on the sea in short order after that. I expect the journey to take to the island approximately 3 days. Weather and the Siren Sea itself willing. After that, we spend as long as we need to chart out the island. And once that has been concluded, we will return.
Your initial plan expected a couple of weeks. I feel it is fair that if that duration extends beyond a certain time frame, that we discuss continuation of remuneration.
A fair evaluation, and one I'm not opposed to. Let us cross that bridge when we get there. Is that fair to say?
Certainly.
Splendid. Shall I assume you'll be taking the contract?
I will look to everyone else.
Yes.
Yep.
Marvelous. At this point, the butler returns and he hands you guys a sack. 1,000 golden drachmae as a cementing of this agreement, and a float to allow you to purchase any supplies you may require on your journey. Is there any other information you require?
Not at this stage. Who wants to take the
It's 200 each if, you know.
I am happy again to act as treasurer.
Yeah,
I will take my gold.
Taking mine as well.
Okay.
I'm taking mine.
Okay. So if you take yours and hold on to Amalia's until she's back, so that's 400 gold for you.
Yep.
But half of that is Amalia's.
I resent the implication that you are putting there.
There was no implication.
There was, and I think you know it.
Nope.
You guys are such dicks, I love it.
Alrighty. Let's go get drunk.
Yeah, what time is it now?
Oh, it's like
West Mike.
sundown.
Yeah.
It's getting into the evening.
We've got 2 days until it takes off, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah, let's go and rest and then buy what we need to for the trip ahead.
Cool. We'll do a teensy bit of a time jump at this point, so we'll just be cycling through it. Who wishes to do what in the couple of days leading up?
I
to
I'm
am
it?
heading to the barracks.
Oh yeah, mark off 8 silver pieces for your rooms over the course of 2 more days, if you wish to stay in the Flowing Goblet.
Okay.
Is that total or
Sorry.
per person?
Total.
I'll do it.
Oh, I've just took 5 off mine, so just take 3 off the group.
Cool.
Okay, so who else is going to the barracks?
I was probably actually going to head off that evening, actually, rather than leave it any longer. So depends on if anyone still had energy to travel that evening, and if not, if I did have any luck, then I'd try the following day.
I assume that I will go with Ganassi at some point, and I will attempt to do the speak with dead. Oh no, that's not the dead guy. That's the.
Nope.
Cool. I would just leave you to it then. I will kill her and then ask her a question.
It's literally the shoot first, ask questions later approach.
It's more like bludgeon. I only have a mace.
I don't really have any big plans, so I think that I'll probably just end up like sparring with Amalia and just kind of get some fight training in.
Copy that.
Since Eslin now has sending, she'll be sending some messages home.
Alright, how do you word your messages?
Okay, so the first one she's going to send to her brother, Zendes. He was the one with her when they found Eslin at the temple. Brother, are you well? Please know I had nothing to do with what happened. Is everyone safe? Are you in trouble? That is 25. And then she will send a message to her husband, Kodos, and she's going to say, I have written these down. My dear, I will return soon and will fix what has happened.
You know they can respond, right?
Yeah, I know, but I was
Okay, cool. I thought you were like skipping the fact that they could respond. I was like, yeah, they can actually respond as well.
I mean, 2 days, I could send lots of messages. But those would be on the night stuff today.
Okie dokie. 1 second. So, the first one, he just says, Eslin, I'm glad you're alright. We're fine. Everything's fine.
Cryptic as fuck.
Stay where you are. And the second one to your husband. He just says, our boy is safe. I've made sure of that. I love you. That's it.
Cool. On the second day, she's gonna. Sorry, I'm being annoying, but it's what Eslin would do. She's gonna. She didn't sleep very well, obviously. So she's gonna message her brother again. What do you mean? Stay where I am. You safe? Can you?
What was the last thing you said? You cut out.
Can you speak freely?
No. And that's all you get.
Bastard. Okay. Cool. To the husband. I love you too.
There's casserole in the fridge.
You don't sound. Can you speak freely?
I'll keep our son safe. Whatever it takes. I will make sure he's safe.
Cool. That's it for now, guys. Existential dread in the pancreas times 2.
Existential dread in the pancreas would have been a great name for the episode with the Tarrasque inside the body of Materia.
That's literally like I've got it saved as a picture because it was I found it the other day, and it was no, it's having an existential crisis in the pancreas.
Ah, that was so good. Oh, you weren't there for that, Ganassi. They got swallowed by Tarrasque. Oh yeah.
No, I was the one.
Oh
that
right,
Matt
yes,
tested
yes.
it for
Sorry,
you.
sorry.
Yeah, I did say it. I'm judging the title. That's all I'm doing. Don't worry. I'm giving it the judgment it deserves.
Okay. Anybody else for anything else?
Barracks, please.
Very well. You approach the guard barracks. Easy enough, sorry, the military barracks, having ventured outside the city. It's been about an hour's walk, no biggie. It's an incredibly well-built fort with turrets, and you can see very large ballistae being continuously maintained, and you hear the sounds of military drills going on the inside. The 2 hoplites manning the doors say, "State your business."
I come on behalf of Draxos, who has asked me to speak. Daxus, fucking hell. Fireboy. I've come on behalf of Daxos, who has wishes me to speak with one Molpidia.
They look a little bit taken aback. They whisper something. "Follow us." And
I would like to
And
do
they
an
turn and
insight
says-
check.
one of them just looks at you and says, "Watch yourself while you're in here. Some of these warriors still remember."
Cool. Okay, he said that, so it's okay. I was initially just wanting to make sure they weren't going, "Yeah, come in, prison." But no, if he said that, that's enough for me to go. Right, that's made bud. I will nod quietly and I'll follow.
Oh. Some of the warriors do turn to stare as you walk in, and you see them running various drills with spears or like magics. Others jeer, some spit at your feet. One of
They
them
do
in
not
particular.
rise to it.
One of them in particular, who's got like just, you can tell his left eye was just sundered a long time ago. He looks especially pissed off at seeing you.
I love the joke because he can't see out of one eye, but I won't tell that joke to him because I think it'd be a bad taste. I continue quietly.
So you guys get Ganassi's head delivered on a spike back to you.
Your wish has been granted, guys. Yep.
But you're led to a main building area, like an office section inside the fort, where they lead you down this corridor into what looks like a basement area. And you see a woman with auburn hair and a braid. That's sort of tied into a braid, a very like simple, practical braid. She's wearing a breastplate and battle fatigues, and she has a bow with a quiver of arrows slung on her back, a white cloak with the Meletian, with the Grecian sort of trim on its edge, a hoplite helm that clearly belongs to her just sat on the ground next to her, and she's just furrowing her brow looking at a map. What you gather are to be generals based on their very large crests on their head helmets. That she seems to be in conversation with them, but upon hearing the footsteps down, they just interrupt whatever they're doing. And she's like, "I told you not to," and she just takes you in. Ganassi. I'm guessing you have a very good reason to be here. You're either very brave or very stupid to walk into this camp, Hasiran. What do you want?
Daxos has sent me. I understand that you have had many of your transaction with him in the past, and he has come to know you and your personality. He is determined that something is off, something is wrong. He has sent me to find out what it is, so that I, or him, or my allies can help. That is why I'm here.
Of course he did.
I apologize, it was me that came with the message. I understand the concerns.
No,
Given me.
It's not myself. I was only a small child at the time. It's just old warriors. Some wounds run deep. But, sweet of Daxos to, pick up on something like that. Yeah. Yes, you could say things are certainly less than ideal right now. And she sort of stands to her full attention. You very much get the sense that this is a very professional, no-nonsense individual.
I like her already.
Carries herself with very much with a stick up her ass. But she basically pushes back her auburn hair and then sort of like laces it round so the braid is in a bun. I am stretched a little thin at the moment. In a bit of a bind.
Is there an issue with which you can offset to others to alleviate that load?
Possibly.
You may have not heard of us. We are Tempest. I am one of Tempest. We are a few individuals that have travelled to Melites that are doing what we can to help those that are in need.
I have heard of you, actually.
Oh. I hope it is good.
My little boy came home the other day. He had quite a tale to tell.
spine is safe.
Oh yes, he's become quite the attraction. Nice work.
We just saw another one in need and found a mutual agreement. It's how things should be.
To the point, as always. I do appreciate that. Very well.
So,
sorry,
how can we help?
Out of character, give me a moment. Some of this stuff is... just realigning my notes. What do you know of the town of Krymnos?
Shake my head.
It's a small town on the coast, east of here. They've had 3 grisly murders in a very short amount of time.
There has been a murder in Meletis recently as well, I believe.
I'm aware.
Similar? Related, perhaps?
Not remotely. Which is what makes this so concerning. In fact, the city watch that guard that village... Town is probably a more appropriate word, but... The city watch are stumped. There doesn't seem to be any correlation between each murder. The people of the town are understandably frustrated and frightened, and they're crying out for a more drastic military intervention. That being said, I am reluctant to do such a thing. So
you have your own city to look after, of course.
It is not so much about that. Krymnos is a holding of Meletis. It falls under all of our jurisdictions. But I am... What was that, Ganassi? Sorry.
No, that's my bunny making noises. Sorry.
Okay. You did that face, that was the only thing.
Hi, Bunny.
No, it was. I've made a. I understand when said that it is considered within the jurisdiction, or the responsibilities that lie within Meletis. I was like,
But
I understand.
My men, my hoplites, are soldiers, not investigators. And they would be infringing on the duties of a guard. That may not seem like much to you, but there is a reason you separate the army and the guard. One fights the enemies of the state, the other serves and protects the people. When the army becomes both, then the enemies of the state tend to become the people. So you can understand the bind I'm in. I'd like to help, and I'm trying to help, but I'm concerned about the precedent it sets.
So, what you are seeking are...
a band of Mystios wouldn't go amiss.
If you were able to prepare any documentation stating such that could hold up under scrutiny.
And you can set out immediately to begin this investigation.
Looking at the, because I guess we're looking at the map, or like there's like the big map on those. Can I see where? Because I can see on the big world map where everything where
Krymnos is on that.
Based off that, how long does it look like a journey?
Hang on, let me have a look at the map now. Goodness.
You are looking at going across the road, so it's probably 35 miles if you were going straight across, but it'd probably come up close to about 40 miles, I think.
Okay.
If you go around the Escalades.
Couple days
Just
journey.
based off the key there.
Couple days journey to walk though.
To get there. God,
Yeah.
shit. That's the walk. How long would it take to ride?
Maybe a day.
Day there, day back. Day of investigations. And from my understanding, just so I can get the chronology, so we're coming up to the evening of this end. We've got 2 days, and then the morning of that following day, that's when we leave.
Yeah.
May help us serve to then find out what happened with the one that was murdered in your town as well. Perhaps we can find more information.
I doubt there's a correlation. The others are very indistinct, but the one thing they have in common is the brutality. The assassination was clean, professional.
What can you tell? I appreciate you may not know much at this stage, but what can you tell me about the murders?
Only that none of them were done in the same way.
How many were there total?
3.
3.
No, the letter from the captain of the guard of Krymnos was vague, to say the least. I'm awaiting more information, but it won't be long before I have to find another solution. So I either need an immediate confirmation, or I need to focus on someone who can provide that.
I think Anossy's just going to set forth and try and do something in the space of the 2 days that nothing else is happening. But I don't want to separate the group. Yes. It will fall within the timescale that we have. We would need to find some place that we can acquire horses so we can ride.
Best of luck with that.
And make it good time. Any recommendations for horse?
There are stables in the city, more than one.
Okay. Would you be able to provide the documentation?
She sighs for a moment. Give me a second. I don't have the letter. It's archived, but give me a moment.
Something that can show that I'm not talking out of my arse.
She pulls out that she retrieves this bronze medallion that has sort of an official seal of the Miletian authority, and says, "This is not handed out lightly. I'm handing this out on the assumption that you intend to deliver results." And
I understand, and my eyes go that silvery glint.
And because Daxos vouches for you. And she throws you the medallion. So, you set off by yourself towards the town of Krymnos.
I'm going to go back to the tavern and say that's what I'm planning to do, and invite anyone else that wishes to come with me.
I can come with you, I just have no 3rd level spell slots.
I don't want to interfere with your. I know that sending messages home is important to you. I do not want to get in the way of that. But I also know that Daxus has done a lot for us so far, and it's only seems fair that we can aid his friend if we can.
Yeah, I need to earn some money for that compass. Sure.
How long do you think this side quest?
This we
Side
are
quest.
we are going to require horses to get there in good time, and we will
I'm
have
sorry,
to
what?
explore successfully in a day. It takes about a day's ride there and back. So I appreciate it's cutting it close.
Do you think we can make it in time?
I believe we can make it there and back in time, with some time to spare. It's if we can achieve results in that time frame. I do not know. All I know is that there were. I can tell you more. So to tell you more about that, there have been 3 murders, very brutal, seemingly random. The city guard has got concerned, and as soon as you bring the militia in, it becomes a political.
Do we know how they were
Equity.
murdered? I can speak with dead. That is a second
That
level spell.
would be useful because perhaps the dead could tell us what happened as well, and maybe at least be able to point some fingers.
Yeah,
Maybe not their actual fingers. I don't know how that works, but you know what I mean.
it depends on the form of the body, if I'm honest with you.
I was joking, and I regret that I made that joke because now I've got that image in my head and I can't get rid of it.
You're welcome.
Jason, I appreciate this would be a long journey for you too. And it probably would be a hard ride. So, are you?
I mean, I swore to stay by you guys' side and protect when I could. So I'm very happy to accompany you.
Malia will chime in and say, guys, we're assuming a lot in saying we're going to be able to find who did this in the time we have once we get to the town.
Yep, I know.
I don't want to make a promise I can't keep.
Ganas's already made his promise, though. That's the problem. So whether or not we can achieve anything, he will stay behind.
If need be, certainly. And then you have more gold to share amongst yourselves on your couple-week-long quest, I guess.
Just doing everything she can to get rid of Ganassi right now.
No, I'm not.
You said 4 times this one session. You've been like, I mean, we can get rid of him.
The tears are becoming more and more genuine.
Ganassi, which means that you have to stay with me.
I didn't hear you, sorry.
We have a deal, which means that you have to stay with me. So, which one takes priority?
We have to return to be able to do all of them. I appreciate I've put myself in a bind, but that is why I'm going to do what I can. I have agreed to assist as best I can for the guard. If I am not able to give enough, I can return saying I have done what I can do in the time that we have. I did mention that there was a time constraint. It was not specific. But again, in order for me to be sure that we can make the most of it, we would need to leave. We need to ride early.
Let's find horses then. We'll be riding through the night, possibly.
All right. It's easy enough to ask around, and there are a couple stables in the town of Meletis. Well, there's more than a few stables. You can... where the hell is... Oh, here we go. Riding horse equipment. You can purchase a riding horse for 75 gold pieces.
Can we rent a horse? I don't, because we're going on a boat in about like 3 hours.
I'll say at a rate of 10 gold pieces per day. You can...
Okay, so 30 gold total.
Right, the horse comes back in one piece.
Oh yeah, there is a 50 gold. There is a 75 gold deposit that you will get back when you return the intact horse.
70, but isn't a horse 75 gold?
Exactly.
Yeah, that's so.
Okay, so I'm just gonna buy a horse. Is what's gonna happen. His name's Clip Clop.
Oh god.
And he can go live with the Ent after this.
It's a nice. You give it a nice sort of like sable brown colored horse.
I am going to I'm going to buy myself a horse as well. I'm going to look for it if there's a
And
hopefully one with it like
a horse since you're keeping some of my money.
I turn around and I look directly at you, Curlo RP. If you wish me to be treasurer,
no one wishes you to be treasurer, says Amalia.
then I shall do so. At this point,
No. You still have some of my money from previous jobs.
That is true.
a lot of that gold has already been spent on communal tasks. I can't. You have. Let me see if I can work out what we've got left.
Need I remind you, you bought stuff for yourself and for Dyson.
Yes, I'm
on
aware.
The communal money.
Yes.
Yeah. So you can buy me a horse.
You're no longer contributing to the communal pot. If you wish me to continue to look after these things, and I'm very happy to do so, I'm struggling with the lack of trust here. I'm happy to do so, but you've yet to trust me since we have met, and I'm at a loss for what else I'm supposed to do.
Right, trust is earned. No one appointed you treasurer. You just took that upon yourself. And you still have the initial money from previous jobs.
Yes.
Yes. Use that.
But you don't want to continue the whole treasury thing
Oh, no.
afterwards.
No, I have been taking my money. Because I never wanted you to be treasurer. I want to keep my own money.
Then why don't you simply give you your money back?
Go on.
How much do you want back? How much would you say is your share?
Whatever my share is after the overall expenses.
Give me a figure, and you can have it.
20,000 gold.
I don't have that.
I know. Dude, our character, I don't fucking remember how much money we
Yeah, I know. But yeah, Ganassi's not been, because when he's been buying stuff for the group, he's not been counting it out for individual peoples. He's just been, it's something that's needed for the group, so he spent it for them.
Oh my god, give me 75 gold and we call it quits because you give me a headache. I say out of character. Out of character.
So what do you say in character?
Sure, in, out of character, both.
All right.
Okay,
So
I give fine. Okay.
moving swiftly on, mark off 225 for the 3 horses.
Yep.
And Amalia will need one. So she I'll add the gold to her fund and then subtract the horse money.
I bought my own. He's a good boy.
View campaign. So Amalia gains 125 gold pieces.
If one of you gets a girl horse,
Cool.
If one of you gets a girl horse, we can have lots of little horses for the end. Just FYI.
I mean, that's assuming they get on.
They're horses. No offense, Jason.
Excuse you?
Wow.
I said no offense.
No
Yeah,
offense,
you and
this
Drax
is not
like
a
different
get out of
family.
jail free card for anything and everything that comes next.
Yeah.
It's okay, I'm not racist.
I was literally gonna say I'm not racist, but
It's fine, I know a centaur.
Wow. Some of my best friends are centaurs. How dare
some
you?
of my best friends are Trions.
No, but I want a female horse if they have it, a white one preferably.
Oh wow, wow.
No,
Sure.
not like that, so we can match my
Sure.
aesthetic with the
Like-
white hair.
Yeah,
you
it's
dumbass.
just what you like, right? You know, you can't be penalised for what you like.
How much is a shovel?
I'd say mine was like a black horse as well, but like mine's brown apparently, so it'd be like Black Beauty.
Oh.
I just love the TSB
wow.
advert, man.
When you told
not even
the
TSB
stable
anymore.
master that you were going to name the horse Clip Clop, he refused to give you an impressively colored horse.
Oh
Oh.
no.
He's like, I'm not desecrating a black horse with the name Clip Clop.
But I love the Lloyd's advert.
Is that the name of the horse from Clip Clop? Is it actually called Clip Clop? I thought it actually had another name.
I don't know. Like, I am actually going to Google that. Does the Lloyd's horse have a name? That's what we could call Ganassi's horse.
So I rolled
No.
for it. Calliope, they do have a white mare that is available.
Well, if it's not racist, I would like to take it, please.
It's not racist.
Apparently the horse is called Downland's Cancera.
That sounds about right. I did remember it being an unimpressive name, but like really, really
And
complicated.
apparently
name.
the horse died in 2006, which is very sad.
I mean, horses only live like 20 years, right?
I mean, I don't know shit about horses, if I'm honest. I just thought that he looks really cool.
I mean, I'm sure it lives on in the Wilco's get back to school, pilot.
Oh god.
Jesus, fuck.
I mean, probably
Wow,
not, because that was
now that's-
2006.
It probably also
Hey,
lives
we had
on
a
in.
farm.
It probably also lives on in the PVA glue many children have used on.
Yeah.
We have gone full Animal Farm here, haven't we?
Or
Right.
IKEA meatballs.
I love those meatballs. I'm gonna be honest.
They are really good. I don't care.
They are.
about
Like,
like,
let's
you
not
want to
knock
take
those.
that one back?
They are really nice. I bought like the little packs of those before. We'd be like, yeah, that's just really nice.
Sponsored by IKEA.
Very well.
I
So
will
you have
acquire
you have your white mare, Ganassi. You were given a honeycomb-colored horse. Amalia takes a black horse, and you have your sable-colored horse.
I don't agree with
Excellent.
paying £75 for this horse. 75 gold for this horse. But whatever.
I'm gonna break
Come on, click clap.
Nez.
Licks your face.
I'm gonna name her Kevin.
Yay.
Oh, flashback. It's
This
not
is why I
Kevin, though,
want
it's
the white
Kevin,
one, so
and
we
it-
can match Kevin, yes.
All right, you guys set off from the city of Meletis towards the city of Krimnos in full-on riding. And with determination in your hearts to solve this murder in this narrow window you've been given in order to make it back in time in order to set sail for this uncharted island. And that's what will conclude tonight's session. Thank you.
So we've started yet another quest.
This was supposed to be a time skip episode, Gennady.
I'm sorry. Yeah.
No, you're not.
You're not sorry.
Well, I felt bad that we said that we were going to help. So I was like, yeah, we need to sort it out. And then we found out that we weren't leaving just yet. We had 2 days to wait. I was like, you know what? 2 days, a lot can be done in 2 days. What's the worst? Oh, well, yeah.
All right. Thank you so much to anyone who tuned in, who stuck with us. We appreciate your custom. And we are going to go ahead and sign off. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.